Okay, so um this uh this video I wanted to do a uh give an explanation for my ninth uh the number 9 entry on my top 10 video game moments. Um so it's in Fallout 2. Um and assuming you don't know, like one of the first NPCs you run into in that game is named Sulik. He is a crazy tribal guy who runs around with a sledgehammer, and he's got a bone stuck in his nose. He calls it Grampy Bone, and claims it has the spirit of his dead grandfather in it, and it talks to him. Um, he's a little whacked, but um, he's pretty good in a fight. So, my brother got to um, this one part in the game where he's wandering around in these radioactive tunnels, um, where there's all kinds of toxic waste. And before you go in there, it's um, you're warned that you ought to wear galoshes. Um, and my brother, for whatever reason, he did get the galoshes, but he couldn't figure out how to equip them. And so finally he was just like, forget it. And so he went into the radioactive waste caves without any galoshes on. A while later, the game tells him that his feet are itching. And this went on for a little while. And um, a little while later, he discovers that he's grown a sixth toe. So my brother's like, well, I guess we ought to do something about it. So he goes to a surgeon, gets the toe removed. Um, but rather than getting rid of the toe, the surgeon gives it to him. So now he's got this, you know, in his inventory, this severed toe. And both my brother and I are like really creeped out by it. I mean, it's a toe. And, we're like, oh, this is so weird. Um, but, it's an item in a video game. So you're like, well, maybe I'll need a severed toe at some point. And I don't think it weighed anything, so that, like it wasn't going against our weight limit. So we were like, well, guess we better keep it. But we didn't want to have to look at it every time we opened our inventory, so we gave it to Sulik. Um, so, game goes on. Um, my brother's wandering around in the wasteland, and he comes into a random encounter. Um, gets into a firefight with some raiders. And, the thing starts out, things get hot. Um, and my brother is gunning away, and Sulik's right in the middle of it. When all of a sudden, uh, it's pretty early in the battle, but for some reason, Sulik just bolts out of, I mean, he's a melee guy too, so, but he just bolts out of the middle of the fight and runs away. And my brother is like, what is he doing? And he gets clear of the battle and stops, and he pulls the toe out of his inventory and eats it. And my brother and I are just like, "Ah!" We freaked out. Um, and yeah, so there went the toe. And um, I mean, just the whole thing just blew our minds. We were like, why would you even do that? Um, at this, my guess, so like the Fallout games, one of the things in Fallout games has been, like cannibalism is a thing. Sometimes, you can eat people. Um, so my guess in that situation was that actually what happened was the toe in uh, the coding for the toe probably tagged it as food. Um, in the same way that other food items, there are other food items in that game. Because of the cannibalism trait, the game would tag food or body parts as food as well. So I'm guessing that's probably what it was. And Sulik was just like, you know, eat food, recover health. And so, that was the scripting sequence that was going on um, for that incident. But anyway, um, later on in the game, uh, Jackson started getting the itchy feet thing happening again, and he grew another toe. Um, and this time, uh, when he got it removed, um, we were so freaked out by our previous experience that he walked it out into the middle of the desert, just some random place, and took the toe and dropped it in the middle of the dropped it off in the middle of the desert and left it there. And was even very careful to make sure that Sulik didn't pick it up again before before we got off the that random encounter screen. So anyway, that was the end of the town, and that is one of the stranger unscripted game experiences that I've ever had. I'll see you later.